so we're going to study the electrical resistance. So first part, we're going to study the Ohm's law. Probably you guys can maybe know about a little bit about the Ohm's law. So we're basically going to study how the Ohm's law will work. I know that the green is not the good color. Let me change that. So we're going to talk about the Ohm's law a little bit. So what the Ohm's law saying is the ratio, if you take the voltage to resistance ratio, that will be a current, right? So basically, what is the relation between voltage and current? That is called as the Ohm's law. If you take the voltage and if you take the current, so these two are proportional to each other. What that means is if you plot the voltage as a function of current, that will be just a linear line. That means your dot should be on the linear line, right? So it's linear, not parabolic. So now we can replace the voltage by replacing equal sign instead proportionality. We can write it as R times I, right? So now this R, we call it as a proportional constant. Basically, it is a resistance of your wires. Whatever we going to use as the resistance, that will be the value of the resistance. So R is the resistance, that is the kind of value that will be the value that resists the current. So that is, we call it as the resistance, right? So that will be basically slope of this plot. That is called as the Ohm's law. But most of the material we have does not follow this Ohm's law. That means it is not proportional. In that case, we call it as non-ohmic material. If it follow the this V and I proportionality, we call it as ohmic material. So if this follow the this proportionality, we call it as ohmic material. So we basically going to study the ohmic materials that will follow the Ohm's law. So those follow Ohm's law. Right? But there are some other materials. We're going to work with the light bulb, so that will not follow the Ohm's law. That means you don't see this linear behavior. Those materials we call it as non-ohmic materials. Okay? So non-ohmic materials which will not ohmic materials not follow the Ohm's law. So that will be the first part. We're basically going to change the voltage and we're going to measure the voltage and current, and then we're going to plot this graph, and then we're going to take the slope of that. That will be the resistance. Okay, that will be the first part. And the second part, we're going to do series and parallel resistors. Series resistors. So when you think about the resistors, you can connect them by doing series connection, or you can do it by using parallel connection. But in real life, if you think about your home system, you have the series and parallel both. So usually it will be combination of all of those, but we're going to study them separately first. Okay. So series resistors means you connect the resistors by doing one by one connection. That means you have one resistor. That's the symbol for the resistors, if you guys didn't learn it. So that can be your light bulb, that can be your laptop, that can be your heater, anything. So that is a resistor, right? Resistor is some kind of device that resists the current. That is called as the resistor. Okay? So resistors you can combine one by one. So ending of the one resistor connected to next one, something like that. So this connection we call it as the series connection. This symbol I draw in the bottom is the power supply. You have basically longer line and the shorter line. Longer line is the positive terminal of the power supply. So this will be your negative terminal of the power supply. Right. So now let's label the value of those resistors as R1, R2 and R3. So now this connection we call it as a series resistor. What you can observe is that you have a single loop in here. What is the single loop means? If you start from one point, you can go walk through the circuit and come back to the same position. Only a single loop. There is only one way you can do it. Because of that, we call it as the number of loops. In this case, is one, right? Single loop. And in addition to that, if you produce the current, power supply basically will produce the charges. That is, we call it as a current. So now current on this circuit will be the same. That means I'm going to say each resistor has the same current. So this is the easiest way you can identify that those are series connections. So there is another property. Each resistor has different voltage. Although your current is same, voltage is different. Voltage is something that you can measure as the potential. So you probably may learn it, or you may going to learn that later. But the idea about the voltage is you basically measuring potential energy per unit charge. So that is equal as the voltage. But the important thing is this current you produce in the circuit will go through this each resistor. That means all loop has the same current everywhere. That's the one important thing when you check to identify your series resistance. The other thing is, if you supply the voltage in here, this voltage is divided into these three parts. That means this each resistor has the different voltage. If that's the case, that is series. Okay. So now after you identify those are series, you're going to derive this equation. Excuse me. In your class, so equivalent resistance, that means basically total resistance for that three resistors we had, we can write it as R1 plus R2 plus R3. If it is a series case, when you see they are series, you just going to add them together. That is called as the series resistance. Okay. Anybody have any question on that? Let's go and check the parallel resistors also. So parallel connection is little bit different. That means you can have the resistors parallel to each other. That means you have one resistor and you may have a second one and you may have a third one. You can combine as much as you need, right? So this is, we call it as a parallel connection. I'm going to label R1, R2 and R3 again. Now I'm going to supply the voltage to whole loop. So now this is, we call it as the parallel connection, right? The only difference is, in this case, what you have is, you cannot say it is a single loop. There are a number of loops in this case, right? This will be one loop, two, three, even the big one is another one, right? So you have multi-loop. You're going to say parallel connection, you have multi-loop. And also you are not able to say that current of each resistor are the same, because if I produce the current from the power supply, this current is divided into one part go through this loop, one part will go through this wire. When it come to here again, it go to this part and this part. That means you are not able to say the current is same in this case. Because of that, I need to say each resistor has a different current. If resistors are not the same, if they are the same, they will be the same, has different current. It's exactly opposite from your series case, that's all. But the important thing is your potential. If you take the potential, you apply the potential to this point and this point, that will be exactly same as this point and this point, that will be exactly same as this point and this point. So your all the left connection you have has the same potential. All the right connection you have the other potential. say, you can say that here, and but don't stay there, maybe you can say, maybe you, yeah, start. You can stay somewhere there. So this is the part which is going to be there. Okay, so now what I said that you have the same voltage. Each resistor has the same voltage. Okay, so that's the difference. So you guys need to understand the difference between these two. If you can identify those, that will be easy to solve the problems in your class. But we are not going to solve that problem in your lab. But your final resistance, when it is parallel, you can say 1 over R equal, yeah, take the gloves, 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over R3. Okay. So that will be the equation for the total resistance if they are parallel. Okay. So this will be the idea. So now if you think about the home system, we have series and parallel both connection. Usually we connect the light bulbs parallel connection, because if one is broken, still your system is working, right? But if it is a series circuit like your heaters or anything in the home, if one break down, then your whole system will be breakdown. Because of that, most of the time we use the parallel circuit on your home system or your electricity systems. Okay, so anybody have any questions? That will be basically the theory part. It's a lot. You guys going to learn those all things in your class, but this is just basic short kind of theory part. Okay, so now let's move into the our experiment. And to leave my Excel sheet and also the our camera. So now let's take a look what we have in the table. So you have two this multimeters. We call it as multimeters. We're going to use those two to measure the current and the voltage. That's why I have two of them, right? And then I have the power supply here. This is called as the power supply, right? And then I have a couple of wires here. And in addition to that, you have two kind of wood piece, and also you have a kind of electric board piece, right? And the other box you have it in here, this one, we are not going to use it. It's for our 1816 class only. Okay. So now these are the things we're going to use in the experiment. So now first thing we're going to do, we're going to measure, or we're going to identify. That's your first procedure. You take your handout. Your procedure one is identify this one. Right, so this is the wood board. I think you guys can watch from there. That's why I put it in there. So everybody, I know that it's little dark, but I think still you can see it. So don't think I can change that. Yeah. So this is your wood piece, right? We need to identify what the elements on this wood piece. So basically we have two of them. This has 4 knobs. That is not what I am talking. So I am talking about this one. So you have the resistor on the bottom. This one is resistor. In my case, it has like lines that you can identify it as a resistor. But some of the groups, you may have a different kind of resistor in there. Maybe kind of the prism kind of thing, right? So rectangular prism kind of thing, but this is the resistor. And the other side, this is light bulb. Everybody know that. This is the light bulb that is connected to these two. And this is the resistor that connect to the bottom of the two terminals. Okay, so that's your first part. You need to draw your diagram. So I have my Excel sheet in here. I'm going to draw it in here. You guys can draw it on the Excel sheet or on your handout. So basically what we have is we have the resistor. We're going to label that like this, and we're going to label it as a resistor. And then the other part I have is the light bulb. Light bulb, we use the symbol, circle and the cross to make it a light bulb. If you like to draw the light bulb, that will be fine, but I'm going to say this is light bulb. And this is resistor. So I'm not sure which circuit does not work, because I remember that some of the circuit didn't work last Monday, so I don't know if they fix it or not. In that case, we may need to switch the student in between, but let's see that. So we done with the first part, and the next part is the internal resistance. As I mentioned, for your voltmeters and all the multimeters, I have two things in here, orange things. So this has the internal resistance, right? Because it has the circuit inside. Because of that, those has the internal resistance. That internal resistance we're going to measure at the end of the class. But on your table, next table, I mentioned that in here. This is from your lab manual. Okay, so all the multimeters we have in our laboratory, internal resistance will be that much. Okay. So now next step is measure the resistance of your wood box. So this one we have the resistance. So we're going to measure the resistance of this one. To measure that, you guys can take one of multimeter. That is, I'm going to go. So you're going to take one of the multimeter, right, and then take the red and black on your table, and you can untangle it. One red and one black. It really doesn't matter, because this is just a wire or the conductor, but we're going to use the red and black. It is very easy to identify which one is my positive and which one is negative. That's the idea, okay? So now we're going to measure the resistance of your resistor on the wood piece. So now you have the multimeter here. So we have 4 terminals in the bottom, right? You see that the 4 holes on the bottom, and then left 2 we're going to use to measure the current, and right 2 I have cohm and volt, right? So we're going to measure the ohms. You see that the symbol ohms after V symbol, so that's what we're going to measure, right? Because of that, you're going to take the black knob of one of the black wire and connect that into cohm of your voltmeter, and then red one you're going to connect into the volt or the ohm or the frequency side. Red and black. Okay, and now you have the other end of the red and black. These two we're going to connect into your resistor, red into red, black into black. It doesn't matter in this case, but we'll do that. So red into red and black into black, not the light bulb. Okay, so you see that the 2 terminals of your resistor, so that's what it is. Yes. So now you have the dial on the voltmeter, or you can switch, no, we can switch on later. So we'll do the dial into ohms. You see that the ohm symbol all the way top in here, ohms. So keep it, I think we can keep it 20K in there, maybe 2K is good. We can change that later, because I don't know what resistor we have it in here. So we're going to switch on the power. So you see that the switch on button in here, so switch on that, then it will show you the some values, right? So you can dial it to the probably 200. I think everybody has the around some number around 12 or something. So I have a kind of big number, but it keep changing. So just take a look, few minutes, and write the best number you can observe from there. Give it a couple of seconds, because sometimes you may have loose connection, so it's totally depend on some of the things. So I'm going to write my number as 14.9 or 15. So that's what I have. So you're going to type your number in here, 14.9. Keep it in 200 ohms. Whichever number is there, so Okay, so now we measure the resistance. So we're going to calculate by using the slope of the plot later, but that's the first part we did, right? So now you guys can remove the two wires from the resistor. And so now this one we're going to keep by side. That's our voltmeter, right? So you keep it in your right side and keep your two wires with that, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to produce the different voltage to these two resistors, and we're going to measure the current and voltage for different voltage lines. Okay, so now to do that, so you have the other multimeter. So other multimeter we're going to use to measure the current, right? So now you guys can take the another red. So we're going to measure the current. So I'm going to connect into I'm going to connect that red into my milliamp symbol in there. So you have 20 amps and milliamps connecting to the milliamps. We're going to measure very small current in this case, right? So now other black wire, you're going to connect into the COM. So take another black and we're going to connect that into the your COM on the middle. So now this one we're going to use to measure the current. So we can change the dial later. So let's leave it by side on your left side. So now I have middle my resistors. So now what we basically going to do is I'm going to show you the circuit what we're going to connect. So this is the circuit we're going to connect. So this A label is ammeter, B label is voltmeter, and R is the resistor we're going to use here, and V is the change in with arrow, that is power supply, right? So now you guys can see that your power supply has the negative terminal. So that negative terminal should be connected. This negative terminal here is connect to the your ammeter negative terminal, right? So what that means is you take your COM from the ammeter, right? So you take the COM of the ammeter and you're going to connect that to the, you see that in power supply, hopefully the student on the last week, they remember, but you didn't come last week. And this one we have, it's very hard to focus. This one we have basically 2 knobs in here and 4 knobs in here. We need the variation of the voltage. Because of that we're going to use these 2 knobs, right? Red one and black one onto the left. Okay. So now you're going to take the black wire in here and connect into the black on your power supply. Okay. That means we're done in this end. So now we go to the plus sign of the ammeter, that is my red wire, that I need to connect into the red of your resistor. You remember that the resistor, take the red of the ammeter and connect that into the resistor red side. Okay. So now you should have extra black left, right? So take that black and you're going to connect that into the your other end of the resistor, that is the black side of the resistor, and then you're going to connect the other end into the red side of your power supply. So now you will see it is a kind of single loop. So your current is go to your ammeter and then go to the resistor and then it will go back to the your power supply. where is the ammeter? So we're going to connect ammeter to the power supply, and then you connect the other end of your resistor to the power supply. So this is a series. You start from here, go there, and go there. So this is your voltmeter. This is going to carry it. Okay, so now we're going to switch on the power supply. You guys can plug your power supply to the power, and then make sure that your voltage knob of the power supply is all the way counterclockwise. So it usually should be there if somebody didn't do anything. So it's usually all the way to the counterclockwise. It works only one way. Push it. Good. So if it is all the way counterclockwise, you guys can switch on the power supply. Right. So now we need to set up our ammeter because we didn't change into the whichever we need. So we usually use the DC current, right? DC symbol is like a horizontal bar on your ammeter. So you take it to your side, and then you see that the amps on the bottom here, right? So we're going to rotate your dial to the milliamps. I'm going to keep it 200 milliamps range. If you need, we can change it later. And you can switch on your ammeter too. Switch on button. So usually you will see 0 because we have the voltage 0, right? I mean current is 0 because we didn't produce any current here. So now you have a voltmeter, right? This voltmeter we going to measure the voltage. Always voltmeter we going to connect outside, right? Ammeter is inside the loop, that's why we connected earlier. But the voltmeter we can always take out and measure the voltage anywhere we need. That's why we keep these two pins, right? So now you're going to take the voltmeter and we're going to measure the voltage of the resistor. You just connect, it doesn't matter which red or red, black, black, it doesn't matter, it will give you negative number. We don't want the negative, just connect into the red to red and black to black. So now you're going to dial your voltmeter to volt. So you see that the DC volt in here. So we're going to dial into voltage. We'll leave it 20. Okay, 20 volt. So usually the first number for everybody should be 0. 20. So you just put these in the voltmeter? Voltmeter? Yeah. You connect that into the two end of the resistors. Okay. Like on top? Yes. And then dial is 20 volt. Dial is 20 volt. 20 volt. 0 volt. You guys see the 0? Volt? Okay, so now we're going to change the voltage as our table. So now when you go to the table, on here we basically going to complete this table. So now we have 0 voltage, we don't have anything, so your current is 0. Right, and then we will move into the second one. This is where some of the setup may not work. In that case, we need to switch to the other groups. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to produce the point 2, but what we are watching is the voltmeter. You have a kind of reading on your power supply, but that does not give you the correct answer, right? We're going to check the voltmeter. Now keep track on which one is voltmeter, which one is your ammeter. So ammeter in the circuit, voltmeter is outside, right? So now we're going to change voltage into 0.2. So sometime 0.2 may be not possible. In that case, you guys can change the numbers in the table. Okay. So we're going to change into 0.2 and increase it until you see 0.2. So it may be jump into the big value, it may be stay in 0.2, whichever number you can take. So I can take 0.22, I am going to change this number into 0.22 and then I am going to write the ammeter reading in my next case, 16.1 2. So let me take a look on all of these. So you have the reading. You take power supply until you see 0.2 here. A very small amount. If it is not 0.2, whichever number you have, you can write it. Closer to 0.2. The number you write. Yeah, this is the circuit covered with signal was last time. So one circuit didn't work last month. I think I sent those to the system. I think it should be this one. That's why those have it. So I will take 1 minute to check that. Voltage from that power supply is working. So this is definitely some wire doesn't work, and I fixed some wires, but nobody gave it that. So maybe look and definitely go into the here. You can maybe take your chair and go to the other book, but it's a little apart because of the COVID. Okay. So what you can observe that, but you know how to make the circuit and those things. Anybody else has any issue? So other all the circuits are working well. And let's move into the 0.3, no, 0.4. And keep continue. Okay, so 0.4 may be able to take it, may not be able to take it, but whichever number you get in, you're going to write it. 28.7. And then move into the 0.6. Just keep changing, don't worry too much. So just type the number closer to that, the best number you can have. It's nothing to worry too much. 0.54. One or 368. And don't increase more than 2, you have to stop at 2, okay? 1.20. You guys can type my number if you want, but you're going to connect the circuit for the next one. That's the advantage. You guys can write my numbers, okay? If you can read it. 1.42 and 1.6. Still maybe light bulb will work. You can check that. And your circuit 1.60. and 106.4. 108.1. Okay, so that's little change. I'm going to change it 123.3. And 2 is the last one. 130. Say 140.5. So it's little change time to time. Don't worry too much. So everybody can hear. Okay, so now when you go home, you need to calculate the average in the Excel. If time is still remaining, I can go over those. But since our the setup is very time consuming, I'm going to skip the calculation for now. Okay. So rest of the calculation you guys going to do, you're going to plot the V as a function of I and then calculate the slope. That will be your resistance, and you can find the average resistance here by calculating the resistance. Resistance is basically V over I. You can directly calculate it in Excel. So that we're going to do, if time allowed, you're going to do at the end. Otherwise, you guys are going to do that at home. Okay, so now next part. So now what we're going to do is we're going to observe the behavior of the resistor with the ammeter, right? So in your circuit, it says that you take your circuit here, you take your voltage terminal from B to C. So you take out this one and bring it to the here, right? So that's what we're going to do. So to do that, you can take the, you see that the voltmeter in here, you take the red out, right? You take the red of the voltmeter out from the resistor, and then you're going to connect that into black of your ammeter. Black of your ammeter. Straight out from the take out the resistance there. We do that. Take it out from here and turn it into black. Okay, so now let's do the same process, but for we're going to start from 1 volt now, 1 to 2. Okay, so we're going to complete the table by measuring the current and voltage. Which one? Second table here. We're going to start from 1 volt and move into the 2. Okay, so we'll start from the 1, or you can go backward, but I like to go from 1 first. Okay, so switch on your, my one is switch off. You can switch on it again and lower down to 1. And then you're going to write the reading in milliamps. I have 66.1. And then increase into 1.2. I have 1.23, 81.6. And then move into the 1.4. 92.7. And then 1.6. 106.4. And then 1.8. 119.6. And 2 is the last one. 2 is 133.3. Again, you need to find the average and plot that graph. Okay. And anybody have any questions so far? can try the next one for the light bulb. Okay, so we try. I don't know if it's still working. The wire problem or the resistor problem. I have one. Okay, so now the last one we're going to do for the light bulb. So I'm going to lower my voltage to the zero, all the way counterclockwise first. Okay, so you can switch, keep switch on the power supply. So now we're going to take that red from the the ammeter, you remember we connect. So take that out and connect that red on top of the resistor again. Oh, you guys, yeah, connect it and show me your circuit. Okay, so we basically went back to the what we had earlier. So red and black in there, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole two sets and connect that into the light bulb directly, to ending of the light bulb. So you had these two here, and then you bring those two into the two ending of the light bulb. That's it. Okay, so now we're going to work with the light bulb. So light bulb we're going to start from the zero, but the maximum we're going to do is 1.5. So don't go beyond that. 1.5 is the maximum. Keep that in mind, because your light bulb will burn if you go more than that. Okay. So the first reading is we're going to measure the volt and amps, and again there is a little bit difference because we're going to measure by using the amps, right? Because of that you have this red knob in milliamps. So take that out and connect into 20 amps side. Because our values is in amperes now. Okay. And so now let's keep this one into 20 also. You can dial, you can change into 20 in there. And voltmeter 20 ohms will be 20 volt will be fine. Okay. That we can change later. I don't know which number we need to go. So now you guys can increase the voltage. The 0 0 is the first reading, right? So we're going to write, what is that outside? 0 0. and next reading is 0.1, right? So now you're going to dial, change your voltage into 0.1. And then you're going to write your ammeter reading. If it is 0, you guys can change into the different reading and see that you can read it. It's almost 0 in my case. I would say 0.01. So that's the ammeter reading. If you have 0, you're going to type 0. Okay, 0.01. That's what I have. Just going to type that. Light is not turning off until turning on until you reach the voltage. Not the time. Does it change the number? Yeah. Because I think the light bulb is already burst, so I need to tell the provider so where is there? And we got the 1.5 infinity. So 1.5 now. Yeah. Look at this point. Okay,
these numbers over here?
I don't know, I didn't use it.
I just want to.
Yeah, so you're going to stay and maybe you can write my numbers. The blue, I don't know what is your name. So you can write my numbers. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to change the voltage into those numbers, and maybe my light bulb also gone. I don't know. Let me check that first. Yeah, my one is working well. Okay, so let's move into the point 2, and then you're going to, and don't worry about that. This is not linear. You will see the fluctuation of the numbers. You not need to worry about that. You're just going to write the numbers you are getting from your readings. Actually, this is 0.01, not 0.1, and this is 0.09. 0.12, 0.17, 0.37. Okay, this is not the correct one. Go back to 6.19. Point 22. So now light bulb is not the ohmic material, because of that it is not linear. You will see the fluctuation each time. Okay, nothing to worry about that. So that should be like that. So 0.52. You guys can turn down your voltage. Yes.
Ours was much lower than our values, like they don't increase by one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's how it is. It is not linear. That's right.
Yeah.
How about you?
We're gonna, we have to go back and review some of them, for some reason it wasn't really reading it well.
Okay, so you guys can turn down the voltage into 0 and switch off the power supply. So now we're going to disconnect this whole circuit. Okay, so when you disconnect it, make sure that you have voltmeter separately. So you have 2 wires with the voltmeter, leave it by side, and then you have the 2 wires of your ammeter, just leave with the wires we're going to use for the next part, and the other one you can definitely remove that. So we finish with this board, right? We're going to leave that aside, and then we're going to take the second piece here. And I will give them couple of seconds. They are still working with that. So now we are working with P5. So usually light bulb, if you go back, you will never get that number, because light bulb is keep heating. So when it heat it up, you cannot go back to the lower voltage, then you will get totally different numbers. You cannot go back and check. Just write down the numbers, whichever you get. How many readings left? How many left? Done. Okay. Then lower down the voltage of your power supply all the way to the counterclockwise, and then switch off it and disconnect everything by keeping your voltmeter and ammeter like this. Everything else should be disconnected. Okay, good. So now we're going to connect this one. This one you will see that everybody have the red one knob, other all are black, right? So red one is start from 1 kilo ohm, it mentioned in there, 1 kilo ohm, and then you have 2.2 kilo ohm in the next two black. But my one black in here is rest. We are not going to use this. This is for 18-16 class. Okay, so we are not going to touch that at all. So now check on the circuit. So we have a negative terminal of the power supply. We'll go to the ammeter. So that's the first part we're going to do. So now you take the COM from your ammeter, right? Take the COM of your ammeter. That will be the black wire from the ammeter. So now this time we're going to use the fixed 5 voltage. To do that, I should have a COM on your right. You have a 4 of them. There is only one COM in black. So connect that black into that black. So we're going to use 5 voltage fixed this time, that's right. Okay. And then actually I think this has milliamps probably, so we can switch that later. So we'll just leave it there. So now you're going to take the red. Now red of the ammeter will go to the ending of the 2.2 kilo ohm. So that means you're going to connect the this second black one, basically starting from red, black and black, second black. Okay, so now that means we finished this end. So now I have this B is the black in the middle, so there is no connection for that. You see that there is no connection at all, right? And then you take the A ending, that means your red end of the resistor, and you connect into the positive terminal. So you guys can take the another red you had in left, right? Take that. So now you're going to connect red on your ending of 1 kilo ohm red to the plus 5 on your power supply. Okay, good. So now we just measure the voltage between terminals we have in the table, right? We're basically going to observe the voltage of each terminal. What we're going to do is we're going to measure the A and B. A is here, B is here, C is here. A, B, C, right? A, B, C. So now you take the voltmeter and we're going to measure the voltage AB. AB means you just connect your, it doesn't matter black and red, but I'm going to connect into these two terminals. A and B. That is your voltmeter. So connect voltmeter into A and B to endings. Okay. So now you guys can switch on the power supply. So we don't want to adjust any voltage because we give the fixed voltage in this case, right? So that is already set up into 5. So now we're going to measure the current. So the value of the current, I think that we need to switch this amps into milliamps. I hope we have very small current in there. And then change into 200 milliamps range on the diode. And the power supply should have some voltage. I have 1.66. nothing changing there. You are not going to change that at all. So it's 55 volts. So once you get the voltage is there, you just have to run the machine. And you change it to the one. We're going to have around 1.6. I think 1.6, 1.6. One other one is the number. Now, you can be around. And what is it you have? Yeah, which one was the wireless versus last? Remember which one you took as last? That wireless number comes to the number, correct? Yeah. Here. This one you take totally outside. Which one the last wireless? This. So you guys going to write my numbers again, okay? And okay, so now we measure the voltage, what we measured A and B, right? Now we're going to measure the B and C. So B and C is the next two, right? So your voltmeter two endings should be, one is the middle one and other one is the other black. So you're going to measure that and write the value 3.60. Oh, I didn't write this number. I had the 1 point. Give me a second. I forget to write that one. 1.66. So I had 1.66 here, and the second one I have 3.60. And last one is the current. You're going to write the current on your ammeter, that is 1.5. In my case. Okay. Did you guys write the number? Yeah. Okay. And it's just 3 readings, but I don't know why that circuit does not work. So now next circuit we're going to connect is this one, right? So now to connect this one, don't remove anything in your setup. So just leave it there. So I'm going to bring you another resistor. We call it as 1 kilo ohm. the next circuit. So only difference is you have a 1 kilo ohm resistor that I have give to you should be in between your A and the C, right? So A and C, that means you take your this one, and your A is the basically your red one, right? That is your A. Just open your crocodile alligator, and then you're going to clip that to the first one. And I know that this is not long enough to connect into the C. What we're going to do is we have extra black wire. You take that black wire and connect your other end of the resistor. That means you have a pin on the top of the resistor in there. You can just insert that in there, right? And then you take the other end and connect that onto the your C point. So that will be connection between A and C. Okay. Anybody have any question? Okay, so now let's measure voltage as mentioned. So now what we need to measure is on your table. We need to measure the AB voltage. Now you know that AB, where is AB, right? So you can have the voltmeter and measure the AB. So make sure that if you connect voltmeter on the bottom, you need to take that outside first, right? And you take the voltmeter plus sign and connect it to the A, I mean the COM black wire, whichever you have. So basically your voltmeter should be in between A and B. So then you will see the voltage and then you will see the current. My one is off. So I have exactly same voltage I had earlier. How that happened? So my one is removed. Give me a second. Did you guys have same voltage? I have exactly same voltage. A and B. And now we need to measure in between B and C. So you take the black wire, you connect it top of A and take that into C. So I have anything? So you basically your voltmeter two ends should be in the middle one and the black one. And I'm a little confused because I'm getting exactly same numbers as earlier, so it should be a little different, but I don't know why. And 5.9 and the current and so now we want to measure the in between C and D. So in between C and D, which end is your C and which end is your D? So C already connecting to the your voltmeter. You can take that middle wire you connect and bring that one to the your ammeter. So now which side I have power? On the black COM. So you take the volt knob in your voltmeter to the COM knob in your ammeter. You see dear, now you will see very probably very small value, because of that it is not able to read when you have it in 20. So you may need to switch into 200 millivolt rate all the way of the volt. Okay, so now the voltage I have it in here is 12.4 millivolts. And that one is not volt, because of that I'm going to write millivolt here. So milli is 10 to the power -3. So now current is 6.9. We measure between C and D, so you take the different forces. So you take the this area. And then take this one and connect it to the cotton. So now we must measure the voltage. We need to turn this into 200 meters. Okay, so now we are done actually. So now you guys can lower the voltage. It's already counterclockwise. Make sure that it's all the way to the counterclockwise, and you can switch off the power supply. And then you're going to unplug your wire of the power supply, right? So now only thing I need is 2 wires with the ammeter. So you should have ammeter like this. Only this one, ammeter 2 wires. Other all wires you guys can disconnect. Okay, leave this one, I need it. And other everything you guys can disconnect it and make sure you give me your 1 kilo ohm with me. And 1 kilo ohm. And inside other everything by fixing wire on the ammeter.
What was the measured resistance?
Measured resistance in my case, in the all the way to the top, you mean?
Yeah.
14.9. Okay, so now since you have some time, make sure that you make your wires as you found, right? To make it like you need to make a circle, kind of this, right? And then you're going to hold them nicely as you found for next group. So rest of the wires I'm just going to leave it here because I have another experiment, another group coming after you, so you guys can do that. Okay, so I think we're going to do the last step. Last step basically measuring internal resistance. You remember that on the beginning of the class I gave you the internal resistance of the ammeter, right? So we're going to measure that now, right? So now you have the connection between milliamps and the COM in your ammeter, right? So I don't think you need to see it, but it's very simple. So you have this connection, right? So now you're going to take the black wire, that means your COM wire, and connect that into the voltage on the voltmeter. So volt in the voltmeter. And then you're going to take the milliamps wire, that's the red wire, to the COM. So we basically going to measure the internal resistance, that means you should have the resistance ohms on your voltmeter. So go to the 200 ohm range and then you will see the value by with the ohms like 1 point something. Good. So that will be the internal resistance when you connect into the milliamps range. So that is internal resistance, I label it in here. So that is 1.3 ohms in my case. Okay. And then we need to measure the internal resistance when you use the amps. You remember that we use the amps for the light bulb. So you take the milliamps and connect into the amps and then take the voltage, the resistance again. It will be very small number. So if it is 0, you can type 0. If you have very small number, you can still type it. So let me see that I have 200. Yeah, the all are big numbers. So 0.01, that's what I have, very small resistance, 0.01, 0.1, 0.1 is. Okay, so now you guys can disconnect other two wires also and make sure you switch off your voltmeter and keep it vertical, 2 lines to make it like something like this, and then that's done. So 11:19. Okay, I think we have enough time to go over the little bit of your calculation, so we'll do that on the Excel. Okay, so your W1 section is asking you to calculate the resistance as here. So we're going to calculate the resistance. If you enter it into your computer, you can do it with me. So otherwise, you guys need to observe that and do it at later. Okay. So we're going to calculate the resistance. Resistance, we know that we can calculate by doing V over I. So that's what we're going to do it in here, and go to this cell and type equal voltage is your first cell, give the reference to that one, this one, and then you're going to divide that by the current, but this current is now in milliamps. Make sure that I need to convert into amps, right? So milliamps is 10 to the negative 3, so I need to convert that. To do that, I need to divide that by the 1000. So to do in here, I'm going to multiply by 1000. That's the easiest way to do it. On divide by 1000 on the denominator, we'll go to the numerator, so that will give you that number. So I'm going to type this, copy this for the students. You are struggling that. Let me copy that. So that's what you need to type. Okay. Did you finish it? Okay, so now after you calculating this one in Excel, we can directly copy that equation to the rest of the cell. What you're going to do is you're going to bring your cursor to here and then bring it very lower to this box in here. Then you will see the plus sign. You just drag it. Then it will calculate the rest of the cells for you, right? So now this is around 14, 15, 13. So that should be matched with the value you had in earlier here. This is the measured value we had, 14.9. And now I have some fluctuation of the numbers, but that's fine. But almost it's same as that number, right? So now this one you guys can always do those because we don't want this number of sig figs, right? We cannot have that much of decimal numbers. So you can right click that and format cell, and let's leave only two decimals. So go to the number and then it automatically select 2 usually. So if not, type 2 in there and click OK, then it will stay with the 2. Okay. And so now we're going to find the average here. So average equal, we know that we can use the average function. You type average and open parenthesis, and then you're going to select the range you need to average. Select from here to there. So that will calculate the average. that's what you exactly need to copy into your Excel. Anybody have any questions? Okay, good. And so now let's do the same thing for the second one. We measure the resistance with the ammeter in this time. So still we need to calculate the resistance by using V divided by I. Again, I need to convert this milliamps into amps. So I'm going to times 1000 here. That will, yes. Give me a second. And here. And so now this is with the ammeter. So basically your resistance will be little higher than the above if ammeter has some kind of number inside, because you remember that internal resistance is around 1 ohm. Because of that it increased around 1 ohm. Okay. So now you find the, again you guys can change the formatting of those. So I will left it for you to do it. Okay. 2 decimals probably. And then I'm going to find the average here. Again average. And those are your W equations you have to complete for your lab report. That will be the average of that. And then that will be your W2, and then W3 is asking P2, P3 internal resistance relation. So that means basically here you are working, as I mentioned, this voltage we measured with the your internal resistance of the milliamps ammeter, right? Top one we measured without that. That's what this diagram says. You remember that we switch your B terminal into A. That means you include the ammeter. So that you need to explain in your W3 question. And then W4 is asking you to plot V as a function of I on P4, P2 and P4. So P2 and P4 only. So you're going to select these 2 columns and then you're going to insert, right, plot chart, and then insert it. You normally see the linear plot in there. So that's what the Ohm's law is, right? Then you can label those, right? You guys probably know it because we used the Excel last semester too. On the student who were in my class, I mostly use the Excel. Probably you guys already know it. So you click on this and click the plus sign, and then you can label the axis. You need the access titles for you to put into your lab report. So this will be voltage. You're going to type voltage. The units will be volt, and then this is current, and units will be actually we use the milliamps here. I'm going to write milliamps in here. Right, and then you can make the chart title. You can say Ohm's law. Right, and then we need to add the trend line for this. For to do that, you know that you can click on this plus sign, and then you have trend line over here all the way bottom, and then click that right arrow in here. Then it will point you to the more options. So click on the more options, and then it will appear the trend line, and we need the linear. It is automatically selected. Only thing I want is set intercept 0, display equation, and R square value. So R square value says how much your fit is the best fit for you, right? And usually it should be 1, and then other will display the equation on the chart. So now this case actually my resistance is little bit different because we didn't convert into milliamps. So that's one reason I think. So you can anything else why I get the 68. I need not the outlines. I was I'm going to change because my eyes are not good. I can change this into a little bigger number to save it. Okay, so Y is voltage equal I and R. So it seems that my R is in 68.165, but this is not in ohms. I need to make sure that I use the amps for that, right? So I need to convert that into amps. So, but why I get 68.76? Oh, I know that yeah. So did you guys understand what I did something wrong? So I select these two and plot it, but this is not the voltage. You see the numbers 0 to 160 is the current, right? So 0 to 2.5 is the voltage. That means this axis is voltage and this axis is actually current. So we can switch it. So I'm going to delete this one. So you guys can do that at the home. Okay, so without selecting these, you guys can do insert chart and blank plot, and then we can select the data. Right click, select data, and then we're going to add my x and y. So my x should be current. That's the mistake I did it in there. So current is my x-axis, and then my y-axis should be voltage. Okay, so now seems axes are correct. So now I'm not going to repeat the this axis labeling. You guys can do it yourself. So we'll add the trend line. More options. And set intercept 0, display equation, display R square. Okay, so now this makes sense. So because I have wrong units, because of that value is different, but other than that I have around 14 something, so that should be good. Okay, so now my value, I have it in here. I need to make sure that I multiply by 1000, because you have milliamps the range, right? The value I have here is the slope is 0.1. I'm going to write it here. So slope is 0.014 something, 47, right? So that means this is the resistance, but not in ohms. To make it to the ohms, you remember that I have the milliamps region. I need to times the 1000. Okay, 147 times 1000. So that will give me the correct range. So that will be the one calculation you have to do in your W equation. So R is around 14.7 ohms. Okay, good. So that will be your W4, and W5 is asking you to plot 1130. So W5 is asking you to plot V as a function of I for the light bulb. So we are not going to do anything in here. We directly move into the light bulb, that is W5. And you again going to plot this. You should not see the linear behavior in there. So you're going to click on insert chart and blank chart, and again we're going to add, select data and add your x-axis and y-axis. So my x-axis is current. I'm going to select this, and then my y-axis is voltage. I'm going to select this, and then click OK and add OK. So okay, and you see that your data points are not why I have this point in there. So you see that your data points are not in linear, right? So in this case, it's in your W equation asking you to calculate the power. So power is calculated by using I to the power 2 times R. You guys are going to learn those equations in your class. So it is asking you to do it in this range and this range. Basically, you need to take 2 points and make the slope, estimate it and take the slope of these two cases, and then you're going to take the resistance of these two cases separately, because light bulb resistance is changing with the temperature. That's why. Okay? It's not a ohmic. That will be your W5, and then W6, yeah, W5 and 6 both are the combine of this plot, and W7 asking you to calculate the internal resistance by calculating VCD over I. So I hope you guys can do it yourself. Okay, you have all the values, and that will be W7 to other calculation. You guys can do it. It's not hard. Okay, anybody have any questions? Okay, so now you guys can go. So remind me what did you work in here, register in work?
That resistor and I think some wires. There's probably wires. We were getting something on this one, but it was on the wrong set.
Both doesn't work, but the light bulb works, right?
The light will work.
And your case, light bulb didn't work, everything else worked,
I
right?
can find us a light bulb.
And it's, to open the power supply.